But because of the bond that we had, because them man backed my beef, I just stuck with this group. Because I was like, yo, these are my N-words, you know what I mean? My life just started spiraling. You understand what I'm saying? And like, all the good youths that I grew up with, I call them quote unquote good youths, all the good youths that I grew up with, I think their parents must have told them like, yo, stop chilling with my man, because my man's going down a bad path. Because all of them started separating away from me, and I never really was friends with them. They started separating, you understand what I'm saying? So that's when like the premise of the middle child kind of came in, because I was too bad to chill with the good youths, but then I was like too good to chill with the bad youths as well, because the bad youths were going jail and all of that, and I wasn't going jail. I was just like getting in enough trouble to not go jail, while the man them were going like further lengths. You understand? Like some of my man them were going further lengths. Like, you understand what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm not really trying to go to the extent that you man are going to, innit? So that's when I found myself being like the middle child, like I'll repeat it again, and some of you might be able to relate. Too bad to chill with the good youths, but too good to really kick it with the bad youths when it's like serious time. You understand what I'm saying? So that's when you know what I mean? Like, I was bouncing back and forth, but the good youths didn't want to chill with me, and then when the bad youths were going on ride outs and shit like that, it was more like, I was more like, what's that, Boys in the Hood? I was more like Trey, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll get in the car and I'll be like, yeah, let's go, but then something in my spirit would just be like, nah fam, you don't want to do this, you know what I mean? You don't want to do this. So like, I'd hop out the car, fam. More time I wasn't even getting in the car in the first place. When the man, and it got to a point where the man them knew when it was time to like really like put in work on like, and I'm not talking about the racist shoots. I'm not talking about when we were fighting the racist shoots. I'm talking about when man them started having like drug disputes and stuff like that. Like, I was just like, yeah, I don't even sell drugs, so I'm not really gonna back that beef. And then the man them stopped like really getting me involved in that kind of stuff, and then all the man them started going to jail. So when they're coming out of jail, they've all got jail stories to talk about, and yeah, jail. But me, I never really gone to jail, so I was like, yeah, this ain't really for me, you understand what I'm saying? So bro, I just found myself alone. That's the truth. I found myself alone until I met the music man them. Because that's one thing I never spoke about. I've always been doing music from the time that I was young, and I told you I got into year 7 by singing Yo. From the time I was young, I was always music. I always loved music. So then I met my music friends. And my music friends, that was a great period of my life. I was just going to studio all the time. I was making mixtapes. Nah, I was rapping, innit? So I made a lot of mixtapes. You lot can check out some of my stuff. If you type in Benjamin Grafter or Grafter on YouTube, you see a bag of my music. Like, literally just look out for my chubby face, you'll see a bag of my music. I've been on all the biggest platforms in the UK. Like, I've literally been on all the biggest platforms in the UK, so you can check out my stuff. I really put in the work back in the day, and I'm still putting in work, you know, but anyway, that's for another day. But anyway, so I started chilling with the music man them, and it was great. And we got a studio. Shout out to my boy Kieran Booth, who's doing big things right now. Shout out to my boy Kyle, one of the hardest, dopest producers I know. Yeah, dopest producer I know. Big up him. And like, yeah, man, like, we just, you know, life was good. Life was extremely good, but because of the area that I was living in, at this time I went to go live with my grandma, because my mum had enough of me, and she was like, bro, I'm not allowing like the bad apple to affect the whole tree, so she kicked me out, and I had to go live with my grandma. God bless my grandma, love her to bits. So I lived with my grandma for a bit, and she's a very religious woman, very spiritual woman, very God-fearing woman. And I lived in Manor Park at the time, and Manor Park was a rough area back then, innit? Like, it was rough. It's still rough now. So like, my next door neighbor, yeah, free my next door neighbor, free said, yeah, free my guy Scales, yeah. Free my guy Scales, man. It's a like, bro, that's something that really hits close to home because that was like one of my young boys, like it was my brother, like, you know what I mean? And he got an M charge and he's like locked away for a long time. So free my brother's scales, man. I tried to take time out to say free my brother's scales. But anyway, yeah, man. So like, yeah, so Manor Park was different, and that's when I started getting into like the hustle, because like I needed bread, like I needed money, you understand what I'm saying? So I started getting into hustle with things and started, you know, dibbling and dabbling in the streets. And yeah, the street shit was alright, you know what I mean? The money was good, shit was different, you know what I mean? Like, the point I'm trying to make is, bro, I've been a very adaptable human being. I've kind of gone off on a tangent now, and I can't really remember what the point of this thing was, but I think it was me being afraid to be alone. That's it. It was me being afraid to be by myself. From 2019 to 2021, I've been on a journey of self-revelation. And I've spent time by myself, and I used to be afraid to spend time by myself, so I'd always look for love in the wrong places, do you understand? And always like look for love in bad company, and that never does anyone any justice. So anyone who finds themselves, you know, trying to fit in, my advice to you is spend some time alone and discover who you truly are. Spend some time by yourself. Don't be jumping from crowd to crowd to crowd to crowd to crowd. Spend some time by yourself and discover who you are. Once you discover who you truly are, then you'll know what you and who you want to be around, who you really want to be around. And more time, when you spend time by yourself, yeah, God or the universe or Allah or Buddha or whoever you believe in will now appoint the right people in your life and bring them to you. That's what I've learned in my life. I attract like a magnet. I attract what is meant for me. You understand? I've never been the one I spent all that chasing friends, you know, in my teenage years and my early 20s. Now I'm in my late 20s, I'm 28 years old. I am not chasing anybody anymore. I will only attract whatever's meant to be in my life will be in my life. And because I've been on the streets and I've been on the good side and I've been on, you know, all sides of the spectrum, I will now be able to filter what I like and what I don't like. But it all starts from self-discovery and knowing who you are. And you can only know who you are by spending time by yourself. Because when you're with other people, you're just under the influence of other people. You know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, like, yo, let's smoke some weed. Like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna smoke some weed. Or, yo, let's do this. So, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, oh, yeah, like, let's go read this book. All right, cool, let's read this book. When do you ever get the time to know who you are? What you stand for? What you believe in? If you're always around other people. Take some time to be by yourself. That's facts. Facts. Take some time to be by yourself. Discover who you are as a person and then attract what is meant for you. Facts. I know I went on a long tangent talking about my life and talking about my past and all of that, but that was really the point I was trying to get to. Don't allow loneliness to keep you in bad company, because the thing is, if you ain't built for that stuff, and if you ain't built for the good stuff, you know, the middle child complex, man. If you're too good for the bad youths and too bad for the good youths, like, it's a really difficult thing, because you just start to use the loneliness that you're trying to run away from kind of finds you in the end anyway. Like, you end up being alone anyway, because when all the good youths are completing uni and doing all of this and getting good jobs, you're there dibbling and dabbling in the streets, and like, you're not even prepared to go that deep in the streets anyway. So like, you're messing up your record and all of that, and like, you're just messing it up, you know, because the real bad boys that I know are willing to like go to that length. Do you understand what I'm saying? Me, I was really just about my paper. I wasn't really about no beef. I wasn't really about no qualms. I just wanted paper. You understand? Every street thing I ever did was for bread, was for money. Like. And I can't lie, man made thousands on the roads. I'll be real with you. But those thousands that I made on the roads, the feds came through and took that away. Bang. You know what I mean? I used to say to myself all the time, like, I'm the only one out of all my brethren that didn't go to jail. Do you understand what I'm saying? But then when all my uni, when all the good youths that went uni and grew up together went uni, now they're having parties and having functions, and some of them are getting married and they're having weddings. Man don't get invited to them because I separated myself from them. So I don't get invited to all the functions. So I might be like on Snapchat and seeing a bag of youths that I went to college with at the function having fun, and I'm sitting there thinking, damn, like, man didn't even get invited, like, do you know what I mean? But then like, when all the other youths, when all the bad youths or quote unquote bad youths, I still see them as good youths, but they're just on a different path. When all of the road youths are, you know what I mean, linking up and, you know, on some real tug shit, you know what I mean, and linking up and making connections in jail and learning more about the streets in jail, I'm the middle child who's not going to that level. So I'm just lonely. Do you know what I mean? I was just lonely until I took time to really discover myself and find out who I am and you know, really be around the people that I want to be around. And shout out to all my brethren, you know what I mean? Because don't get twisted, I still got friends that I know to this day from the good side. I still got friends that I know to this day from the road side, and I still got friends to this day that I know from music. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to all my people, shout out to all my brethren who still have my back to this day. You understand? I love you guys, for real. If you're watching this, I love you, man, for real. Because for a lot of the time, I was chasing validation. And really, that just stemmed from being a lonely guy. But now, I spent that same loneliness that I was running away from, I had to sit down and face that loneliness by myself anyway. And it helped me discover who I am, and it helped me to get my mind correct. And now I'm ready to take over the world. And that's why I'm gonna end this video today. It's your boy Benjamin the Graft. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment down below. Show your boy some love, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to feed game to the people, I'm trying to feed game to the streets, and I'm trying to feed game to the quote unquote neeks. I'm trying to feed game to the comic book geeks. I'm trying to feed game to the people as I speak. Yeah? Alright. You get me? Greatest rapper of all time. The best then, the best now.